Hi fans of high quality entertainment. Today I'm going to listen to U2's Pop, which I have not heard. Like, I was, in case you don't know, some of you know the story, I was a huge U2 fan for the 80s and the 90s, and there's a video on my channel called Goodbye U2, which you can watch if you want. Just type that in and you should be able to see it. And it kind of explains it. But that being said, there was a time I thought U2 were right up there with the Beatles. If any band was going to be the next Beatles, it was U2. And the other thing I want to say is their early albums are still excellent. I've given up on them, and maybe someday I'll go back and listen to The Unforgettable Fire, which was an awesome album. But I've just got this thing inside me where I'm not a fan anymore. I'd rather listen to other music. So, when this came out, 1997, yes, 1997, this was the first album. Zooropa, I did like. I guess maybe Zooropa was the first one that was kind of a bit disappointing. But U2's Pop. Oh, and that being said, there are further albums, a couple albums after this, I loved. But it's just this particular album that I just never warmed up to. And I tried. A few times I played it. There's a couple songs I like, 2 or 3 songs that I really like on this. But overall, I thought the album sucked. So I'm going to listen to it and give an honest review. Forget everything I said about not liking U2 right now. Give this album an honest chance, and at the end I will tell you my own opinion. If you love the album, like I always say, that's great. No disrespect to you if you love the album. It's just my own personal opinion. Everybody is entitled to an opinion. That's what I say. So what I do is I lay here, I listen to it on headphones all the way through, and I speed up the video. I might put more of my music along with it because, I can't play this. That's why I'm thinking of someday getting a Patreon page and getting members there for like $1 a month, and you can actually hear the music while I'm listening to it. But for now, just get whatever you get, and I hope some of you watch the whole video all the way through because it does help the channel. I know some of you will just skip ahead. So here we go. One little tidbit I heard from a reliable source who was in the music business, I won't say who it was, but he heard from the record company that Larry Mullen Jr., their drummer, was very mad that this was kind of rushed out because they had to go on tour. So he was kind of really peeved about the whole situation. Just like he was peeved having to do the video for Discotheque, which I found very humorous. I did enjoy that back in the day. And I'm only drinking Coca-Cola in my Abbey Road glass that Molly bought. Set of 4. Using my Sony MDR XB500s. Very good. 60 minutes long. Stay. Okay, here we go. 1, a 2, a 3. Well, I don't know what I did. I know I'm probably going to speed up what I just recorded, but it was kind of boring, so. Except for that one part where I was dancing. And the cats. So, before I say if it sucks or not, I always go to rate your music when I'm listening to albums and, read reviews from fans. And I actually have an account there, and the first thing I saw was my own review for it. And this is from 2004. I gave it 3 stars, but I said, my least favorite U2 album. I don't even own it anymore. And let me just read this because it's quite interesting. For some of you at least. This is from Atomic Wedgie. Pop is the template for all of U2's post-Octung Baby schlock. Not that Octung Baby was all that great. I thought it was, by the way. Either. And God knows what the F was up with Zooropa, which I thought was okay. It was pretty good. Pop, though, blick. Bleach, or however you pronounce that. Blech. How does a band go from being relevant and interesting to completely obnoxious as thoroughly as U2 did? These guys were on top of the world in 1985. By 1992 or so, they were absolute wankers. And with the release of Pop, they become complete and total narcissistic assholes. How does that happen? I absolutely loathe Pop. The band is trying to have it both ways on these songs. They want to be taken seriously one moment, the next they're begging off and making pop music, often within the same song. It comes off as flippant and arrogant. I find myself getting tense and frustrated listening to this album. It's not real, it's not fun, it's not passionate or articulate, it's commercial schlock, it's product, it's a way to make a lot of money. And I was also reading even Bono was saying about this album being, the same thing that Larry Mullen Jr. was supposedly peeved off about. They felt they didn't complete the album, but it was released to the public. And here it is. And I'll go through the songs after I tell you, for me, my own opinion. You can have your own, and we can all get along. Does U2's Pop suck? Yes, it does. That was painful. Okay, song by song. Discotheque I've always liked, and like I said, even when it came out, the video for it where they're dressed as the Village People, and I know I've read that Larry Mullen Jr. wasn't too happy, but it's funny seeing him because he kind of even looks a little embarrassed or awkward in the video. But I think it's funny. I like a band that has a serious side like U2 has had, but also a humorous side. I don't mind them being silly and all that. And the song itself, overall, I liked it. Do you feel loved? The next song I never got into, but this time I enjoyed it more. But still, it's not one of my ever going to be a top of the line U2 song. Mofo was okay. I'm still not completely loving that song. If God Will Send His Angels is, even when this came out, it was like really sap. Like there's good sappy and there's bad sappy. This is bad sappy. It's just, it's almost like forced sappy. Staring at the sun. Oh my God. I think, no, I was going to say that's when I was doing the silly dancing. It wasn't. But I remember it was, I guess it was a bit of a radio hit. And when I was at this other job working, they played it on the radio so much. And I never liked the song. And then at that time, I basically still loved U2, but I couldn't stand staring at the sun. And this time, I think it's because with the chorus and the Edge's guitar that goes with the chorus, and I like the Edge as a guitarist, but it just doesn't work, and I find the guitar work annoying, and the song, I don't like it. It's just, yeah. Last Night on Earth is not bad. Gone is okay. And then, I could almost say 5, but I'll say 3 songs in a row that are real stinkers in my opinion. Miami, which I absolutely hated when I bought this. The Playboy Mansion, I never liked. And If You Wear That Velvet Dress, ugh. So those 3, I'd be curious, are there any, I know there's U2 fans that love this album, but do you actually also love Miami and the Playboy Mansion, those 2? Please is nothing great, it's okay. And Wake Up Dead Man is, I think I liked it more when this came out. But it's not a terrible song, it's kind of interesting, it's okay. But overall, especially for a band that I used to love. And I was going to say, later on, they released a couple of albums that I probably still would like if I listened to them. And songs like Kite, I think are great songs. But I gave up on them with the Songs of Innocence, I believe. And I never bought the last album they released. I haven't even listened to it. Yeah, so overall, that's my opinion of U2's pop. I would love your thoughts in the comment section below on what you think of pop. And like I said, just be respectful of each other below. You can like it, love it, hate it, but, just music.